Is the stock market volatility giving you sleepless nights? And would you like to learn an investment strategy that I believe offers true diversity instead of stock market heartburn? Well, today I'm going to show you how startup investing can provide opportunities that I personally believe could outperform the stock market, crypto, and even real estate in the years ahead. But before we dive in, let's make sure we get the most out of our time together. Please do me a favor, silence your phones, close any unnecessary tabs on your browser, and grab a notebook and pen because you're going to want to write this down. Trust me, want to take notes. And when you have questions, all you have to do is drop them right down there in the comments below. And now our focus today is going to be on how you can harness the power of startup investing to diversify your portfolio and potentially achieve financial freedom, because that's the goal for all of us, right? Now, we're talking about accessing opportunities that this is important for you to hear. Were once reserved for only the elite and only a select few. So what can you expect from today? Well, over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be sharing with you a powerful yet simple plan that I use to find and invest in world-class startups. I call it the Deal Hunter's Journey. Now, this is a proven 3-phase approach that has helped me identify and invest in some of the strongest startups out there. Now, I want to remind you, I want to ask you to be open-minded. I'm going to challenge you to set aside maybe what you think you know about investing. Sticking to the traditional methods in today's volatile market, well, it could be costing you more than you actually realize. But what I'm about to share could be key to not just surviving, but thriving in these uncertain times, okay? And towards the end of our time here together, I'm going to be sharing an exclusive opportunity for those of you who are serious about accelerating their startup investing journey. And trust me, you will not want to miss this. Now, before we go any further, it's important to know that all investments, they carry risk, even startup investing. Now, the potential and the upside of startup investing is significant, and you got to know that. But the results, well, they may depend on various factors, including how you apply what we learn here today. As always, you got to remember, past performance is not always indicative of future results. So instead of telling you why I'm so excited, let me show you some real life examples of startups that I have invested in over the last few years. The first one I want to talk about is called CipherTax. Now, this company uses their own proprietary artificial intelligence to help with, you guessed it, taxes. Now, when I invested in them, man, they quickly raised $5 million from everyday investors like you and me. And now they're in talks with multiple companies, even one huge billion-dollar company that could become their client. Who knows? Maybe one day could be a potential buyer of them. All right, so the next startup I want to talk about is Beatbox Beverage. Now, you might know them from when they were on Shark Tank. See, I invested in them back in 2020, and they were making around $7 million a year in revenue when that happened. And now, just this last year, they did $100 million in sales, and they're on pace to do $1 billion in sales by 2028. Now, that is huge growth. And really, I see it as a massive win and potential for me as an investor and anyone else who invested right alongside me. And the last one I want to talk about right now is called Taste of Nature. Now, these are the folks behind the iconic Cookie Dough Bites brand. This is the candy you're going to find in movie theaters and Walgreens all across the country. Now, after I invested in them, their sales jumped from $30 million in that previous year to $41 million in just 1 year, and they are continuing to grow. And the cool part is that they've already paid out a dividend from their profits to everyone who invested in that deal. Now, these are just 3 of the 25 plus companies that I've invested in. I'll share a little bit more about that in a second, but I want to share a story about a friend of mine. His name is Wayne. And now, Wayne was really a traditional investor, sticking to stocks and bonds, but always kind of felt like he was missing out on what he would call bigger opportunities. And after learning about startup investing, he decided to dip his toes in with a small investment in an AI startup that I invested in and that I shared with him back in 2020. Now, 4 years later, that startup has landed partnerships with Google and IBM, and their valuation has jumped 15x in that short period of time. And this completely transformed his financial outlook, really opened his eyes, and it proved that this was a right approach for him. And startup investing, the way he saw it, could be a game changer. And I think during our time here today, you're going to see how it could potentially be a game changer if you start adding it into your portfolio as well. People often ask, Chris, when is the best time to invest in startups? Well, I truly believe that right now, today, is the best time to step in and become a startup investor. Now, these examples illustrate the incredible potential of startup investing when you know how to identify and seize an opportunity at the right time. Now, let's take a second and talk about who can benefit the most from investing in startups and taking this approach. Now, people ask all the time, Chris, who is this for? And I like to say, this is truly for anyone who is an ambitious investor and who's tired of missing out on exclusive deals that, quite frankly, were always reserved for the well-connected and the elite. I also think this is for forward thinkers. These are people who maybe see what's happening with the United States dollar, see how it's weakening, and they want to invest in opportunities with substantial return potential on the backside. Also, if you're a strategic planner and you're looking to build a diversified and resilient portfolio, then startup investing might be for you. And lastly, I'd like to say this. I think startup investing is for anyone who is an action taker. This is someone who spots emerging trends inside of a market before they explode, and they always love to try and capitalize on them. And this is for investors who have what I call dry powder, right? They have cash sitting on the sidelines and they want to spread their investments around across multiple promising startups, and they want to do that annually, right? They're not just stuck there in stocks. They have dry powder and they're ready to take action. Now, who is this not for, right? On the flip side, now, if you prefer strictly sticking to traditional investments like mutual funds, or you like to play it really safe, well, this is definitely not for you. And if you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, like maybe you think this is some kind of crypto play where to go to the stratospheres, well, that is not what this is about at all. Now, this is about understanding risk, understanding calculated risk, and finding the right strategy that works for you. All right. So today, I'm going to share what I call the deal hunter's journey. This is a 3-phased approach to finding, analyze, and investing in startups. But first, if we haven't met yet, hey there, my name is Chris Graby. I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a startup investor. I've been an entrepreneur for well over a decade now, but I jumped into the world of startup investing back in 2019. And oh man, has it been amazing. Since then, I've invested in close to 25 plus startups, and those startups are worth a combined $1 billion, and they're growing every single day. That even includes the ones that haven't worked out along the way. Now, my mission is to empower everyday investors just like you to learn how to access this exciting world of startup investing. And along my journey, what's cool is I've had some pretty significant wins that not only shaped my investment philosophy, but it also has created opportunities for investors just like you to confidently diversify their portfolio through startup investing right alongside me. Now, I've learned from incredible mentors. I've spent thousands of hours researching, and I've reviewed countless deals to gain the knowledge and the insights that have led me to where I am right here today. Now, beyond business, I am a family man at heart. I have been married to my amazing wife, Jenny, for over 20 years. We have 5 wonderful kids that keep us busy and also inspire us every single day. Look, my family and my faith are the core of my life and motivate everything that I do. Every investment decision that I make is not just about financial gain, but it's also about creating a legacy for my family and helping other people do the exact same thing. So look, I love my family and I love this process. And since refining my startup investing approach, I have been fortunate enough to be a part of several success stories. Now, I know I shared a couple with you off the top, but I want to keep going because I love this world and I love sharing the stories of these successful startups that I've invested in and others have invested in right alongside me. Another company I want to share is called This Way Global. Now, they're an AI company that secured a partnership with giants like Google and IBM, and I invested in them back in 2020. They were the ones that I was mentioning earlier that Wayne got into. Now, their valuation has soared from $19 million when I invested in them to $300 million today. Now, this gives early investors like myself and everyone who jumped in with me close to a 15x return. Now, again, here's the thing that you got to know. I always want to set realistic expectations. It doesn't always go this way. Investing in startups, it carries risk, and I hope you hear me share that throughout our time here today. And in reality, I've actually had a couple of the startups inside of the 25 plus that I've invested in that haven't made it. And that's just the way this thing goes. Now, let me share another one with you. Pythias Energy. Now, this is an innovative oil and gas startup leveraging proprietary AI technology. Now, I invested in them just about 5 months ago at the time I'm recording this, and they're already experiencing exponential growth. And then lastly is Nextdoor Photos. This is a company disrupting the real estate sector. Now, I invested in them about 4 years ago, and I truly believe that soon they're going to be attracting the attention of major players like Zillow and Redfin, and they're positioning themselves to be a major player in the real estate sector. And ultimately, I believe that puts them in a spot to be a lucrative exit. Now, I have shared all of these exciting success stories, but I need you to know that I'm not always done everything right, right? I am definitely human, and I've done a few things wrong along the way. It hasn't always been smooth sailing, but I think and I hope everyone watching this knows that it's not always going to be smooth sailing. I've made mistakes. Like some of the mistakes I've made is like I've jumped into investments too quickly without doing thorough research, or maybe being swayed a little bit too much by the hype rather than the data and letting the data tell the story. I've also had startups that, like I said, didn't succeed. They failed, which was tough, but provided me with what I would call priceless lessons that I now apply to every investment decision that I make. And one of the biggest frustrations that I started to experience pretty early on was it kind of felt lost, kind of drowning in information without a real clear path forward. And it seemed and can seem, for those who are starting out, for me, it definitely was overwhelming. And I questioned whether startup investing was even worth it for me, or if I should even go this route. And I imagine some of you watching this here thinking about, man, how in the world do I become a startup investor? Well, that's exactly why I'm here today. I want to kind of show you the ropes and help you understand how this entire process works and maybe bring some clarity for you. Now, there are a lot of startups out there, and it can be hard, really hard, to identify which ones actually have real potential and which ones are the posers. And for me, when I first got started, I lacked a structured approach, often relying more on what like a gut feeling instead of the data and being a data driven analysis. And that hurt sometimes. It put me in bad positions. And it wasn't until I sought out mentorship and I developed a systematic process that I began to see some consistent success and results when it came to finding and investing in really great startups. Now, the real turning point for me came when I realized that ordinary investors like you and me could access extraordinary opportunities previously reserved only for the rich and the elite. Now, by creating and following a structured approach, what I now call the deal hunter's journey. Now, I was able to consistently identify and invest in high potential startups, transforming my financial landscape and helping others do the exact same thing. All right, let's talk about kind of the old way how things work, and we'll talk about versus the new way. First, let's start with the old way. The old way of investing in startups felt like banging your head against the wall. Like I said, this was typically reserved for the wealthy and the well-connected, while the rest of us, well, we were just left on the sidelines picking up the table scraps. But today, I'm going to show you how the tables have turned and how you can finally be on the inside track, seizing opportunities that were once, quite frankly, out of reach. Honestly, for decades, investing in high growth startups was off limits to everyday investors like you and me. The opportunities were hoarded by wealthy elite and the Silicon Valley insiders who had the right connections and, to be honest, the deep pockets. Now, they got in early on companies like Facebook and Uber and Airbnb, reaping astronomical returns, while the rest of us were left to invest in these companies after they went public, missing out on the most significant growth phases of these companies. But I want to talk about a game changer that happened in 2016. It's called the Jobs Act. Now, the Jobs Act changed everything, not just for the investment world, but for you and for me. See, it broke down the barriers that kept everyday investors locked out of the most lucrative investing opportunities available. See, this groundbreaking legislation democratized startup investing, allowing everyone over the age of 18 to invest in private companies. See, the barriers that had kept us out for so long were finally lifted, opening up the world of opportunities that were previously unimaginable. Now, the bottom line is that everyday investors were locked out, right? The law just didn't allow it. You were not allowed to invest in startups. It's just plain and simple. Sorry, you don't make enough money. You're not there. Also, it was an unfair advantage. Look, the best deals were reserved for insiders, venture capitalists, hedge funds, and the ultra wealthy. And lastly, like I said, we were left fighting over the table scraps. Look, when startups would finally go public, you and I, well, we were competing for shares with everyone else on the IPO day, often at inflated prices, missing out on the most explosive growth and biggest returns. Those were always set for those who invested as a startup investor in the earliest rounds. Now, I want to show you why early investing matters, and I'm going to use an example of Coinbase. Now, look at this example right here. Coinbase, the well-known cryptocurrency exchange. Now, they went public in 2021 at $381 per share. Now, get this. Shortly after the stock price dropped to around $192. Ouch, right? So if you would have bought at the IPO, you would have lost about 50% of your investment. Crazy, right? Well, guess what? Early stage investors who got in at just 20 cents per share, well, they still enjoyed returns of over 95,900%, even after the 50% IPO price drop. That right there is a perfect example of the power of early stage startup investing. Crazy, right? Now, you get what I'm saying about the table scraps and the IPO investor, those who get in at the beginning, and how startup investing has a much, much bigger upside on the other side of it, right? Okay, now we talked about the old way. Let's talk about the new way, right? Startup investing for everyone, for you and for me. Like I said, thanks to the Jobs Act, startup investing is no longer an exclusive club. There are platforms out there like Republic.com, StartEngine.com, and WeFunder.com. Now, you can start investing in promising startups today with as little as $100. Most people don't even realize that. You can get started today. There's a lot of, as of right now, while I'm recording this, just close to 500 startups that want your investment dollars. And this new way of investing, well, the exciting part is that it levels the playing field. Look, it's giving you and I the chance to be a part of the next big success story and not sitting on the sidelines. Now, you understand, right? You're getting how the landscape has changed, right? You saw the old way versus the new way. Let me introduce you to the structured approach that can help you navigate this exciting world. I talked about it before. It's the deal hunter's journey, right? You're hunting for deals. You're looking for deals. Now, in this 3-phase process, it's designed to help you identify, evaluate, and invest in high potential startups effectively. So let's dive in to the 3 phases. First, we're going to start with phase 1, hunting for the deal. Now, in this phase, we cast a wide net across multiple platforms, possibly sometimes evaluating over 100 deals each month. We look for startups that stand out and the ones that have the potential to dominate their markets. Now, this really isn't about luck. I need you to hear that, right? It's about knowing where to look and what criteria that you're actually going to consider. Now, I'm going to give you a quick tip and a key insight that you can look for when you're looking at these startups, right? If you're trying to go through quickly to identify which ones you want to take to the next level. And a quick tip that I use is when I'm assessing and managing and looking at these different startups, you can go to a platform like WeFunder. And what I like about WeFunder, it provides a snapshot of that startup's current financial health. Look, it offers immediate insights into their fiscal responsibility and their growth potential. It's going to show you how much cash they're burning, how much cash they have on hand, how much debt does the company have, and in a pretty quick glance, it doesn't even take a CPA to look at it and go like, "Hey, look, that's not good financials," or "That looks pretty good," and you want to take the next step. For me, for example, one of the ways I discovered great companies like Beatbox Beverages is while you're scanning through dozens of listings, there's an innovative approach that I saw these guys were doing inside of the beverage industry. And they had impressive financials and it caught my eye. And it's obviously when you have Mark Cuban, someone who's invested in their startup, that catches your attention as well. So then what you do is you're doing all this research, you're seeing these, you're catching some of these high level things, and then it gives you the opportunity to dive deeper and look into the startup and see, hey, do I want to take the next round? Do I want to step the next phase? So that brings us to our second phase, which is phase 2, and that's gathering information. Now, once you've narrowed down the top handful of deals that you like, you need to enter into this critical due diligence phase. This is so important, and you have to step into and lean into this phase. Now, this is where we separate the winners from the potential losers and disasters, and ensuring that our hard-earned money, that it doesn't go to startups with the highest chance and likelihood of falling apart. We want to go to the ones that have the highest chance of success. Now, in this phase, we analyze data, we speak with founders, we evaluate market potential, we scrutinize every single aspect from revenue models to the leadership quality, right? This is important. Now, even if you don't have a team of analysts, you can learn a lot by doing this one thing. All you have to do is when you go to these funding portals and platforms, right, you can go and see the questions that are being asked to the founder and their team and see how they're answering it. You're going to see their transparency, their responsiveness. Are they not answering questions? You're going to see their professionalism. Did someone strike a nerve with them and they get a little testy with the investor, right? There's so much you can learn just on this little phase about the leadership team, because I think we all know any company, any startup especially, it all comes down to leadership, right? And you can also look really, truly in depth at the offering page of the company, right? Sloppy, if it's thrown together, if it looks kind of like, oh, did a child put this together? There's not intentionality there. Well, that could be considered a red flag, right? And so think about it. Just quickly go ask questions from the founder, see how they're responding to other questions, and then is the sales page sloppy or is it put together well? And this brings us to our third and final stage, the making the investment stage. Now, once due diligence is complete, it's time to strategically invest. Remember, this involves understanding the investment terms, knowing when to invest, and diversifying your portfolio to maximize returns. And obviously, we're always trying to mitigate risk. Now, a lot of times, new startup investors, they'll get all worried about setting up an account on a portal platform and executing an actual investment. Promise, it's a lot easier than most people actually think. And the cool part is that on most of the platforms, when you invest, you can invest through a self-directed IRA, you can do it through an LLC, you can even invest through a credit card and a trust, which is pretty cool. Now, when I decided to invest in, let's say, This Way Global, I didn't just throw money at them, right? I carefully reviewed their investment terms, understood their growth strategy, and assessed how they fit into my personal overall portfolio. Okay. This is huge. One of the strengths of the Deal Hunter's journey is that you can actually get started today. Right now, there's startups, like I said, 500 plus at the time I'm recording this, to go and look at them right now. So literally in the next few minutes, you could be on your way to investing in your very first startup and setting the stage for potential significant returns down the line. Now, I want to give you an important reminder. While the potential rewards are really immense, the upside of startup investing gets me so excited, it's crucial for you to remember that startup investing, it carries risk. Not every startup will succeed, and you have to know that. It's important to invest wisely and to do it within your means. Always seek the guidance of the pros and the professional in your life before you dive into any kind of investment. Now, hopefully, You'd agree that in today's uncertain market, having a structured, disciplined approach to identifying and investing in high potential startups isn't just smart, but it's essential. Now, let's do a quick recap of the deal hunter's journey and what all is involved in that. Remember, first phase, hunting. You need to identify promising startups through scanning the market and seeing what's out there. Number two, gathering, conducting in-depth due diligence, going deep, asking the hard questions to evaluate their true potential. And lastly, investing, making strategic investments with a clear understanding of their terms and their positioning and the hopes of potential returns down the line. Now, imagine being a part of the next big startup success story, right? Getting in early and watching your investment grow exponentially. It's one of my favorite things to get an update from a founder that I've invested in when they say, "Hey, Chris, big news. We landed a client. Our valuation jumped. Your investment is growing every single day." I'm like, "Yes, let's go." It's so exciting to be a part of a ride like this and cheer these founders on. Now, that's the opportunity that startup investing presents, right? With the right approach, what's crazy is it's actually within your reach. How nice would it be to have a clear, actionable plan for finding and investing in high potential startups? Well, now you do. You've got the deal hunter's journey, and my hope is that this roadmap is going to give you confidence to help you jump into this exciting world of startup investing. Look, we've covered a lot of ground here today, so let's do a quick recap. We talked about the old way, right? Startup investing was exclusive, leaving most of us out of the most lucrative opportunities when it comes to investing. We talked about the new way, the Jobs Act. The landscape has changed, baby. And now anyone could invest in promising startups early on, not just having to wait till the IPO. We talked about the process. By following the deal hunter's journey, you can systematically identify and invest in startups that have, hopefully, high growth potential. Look, we got proof that it works. Remember, I've got those stories I share with you. Cipher Tax, Cookie Dough Bites, Beatbox Beverage, Pythias Energy, Nextdoor Photos. These are companies that show you how it all works. And there are many, many more exciting companies that I've invested in that I just don't have time to share with you today. Bums me out. So many cool companies. Now, when it comes to next steps, you really only have three choices. First choice is you can do nothing. Look, you can walk away and let this opportunity pass. And some of you, you're going to choose that path. But remember, inaction is the surest way to miss out. Now, the next thing you can do is go at it alone. Look, take the information that I've shared with you today, and you get to try and implement this on your own. This is doable, but can be time consuming and overwhelming without guidance. And the third option is, well, you can come join me, right? In an exciting program that I put together that helps accelerate your journey by becoming a part of what I call Deal Hunters Alliance. This is where you'll have direct access to vetted deals, expert analysis, and a supportive community to guide you every step of the way. Now, if you're serious about transforming your investing strategy and diversifying your portfolio with startup investing, I would love to take the next few moments and share something that I started years ago, something that has impacted not just my life, but also thousands of investors just like you. Like I said, it's called the Deal Hunters Alliance. And Deal Hunters Alliance is an exclusive, high impact community designed for savvy investors just like you who are ready to take the next step in their financial future through strategic startup investing. Look, this isn't just another investment group. It's a comprehensive ecosystem that provides you with unparalleled access to vetted opportunities and vetted startups. You get expert guidance, myself and others in the group, and a network of like-minded individuals who are all striving for the same goal: financial freedom and success. Look, don't take my word for it. Here's what some of the members inside of Deal Hunters Alliance have shared with me. Brian said, the strong vetting process before presenting any deal to the membership significantly increases the potential for success. Definitely a win for investors. Eric says, outstanding program. The details, especially the interviews with founders and key managers, really stand out. And Mike said, learning about private startup investing opportunities has inspired me immensely in structuring an investment portfolio that meets my risk and reward goals. 4 to 5 deals a year is perfect. Great job, Chris. Now, look, these testimonials showcase the real tangible benefits. Always remember, though, that results, they can vary, but I love how they highlighted the unique value that Deal Hunters Alliance is bringing to each member. Now, let's talk about what you're going to receive when you join Deal Hunters Alliance. First, like I said, you're going to get access to highly vetted startup investment opportunities. My team and I do a ton of heavy lifting by analyzing hundreds of startups and presenting you with only the best opportunities that we find. These are startups, remember, that I personally am investing in, and each is backed by our comprehensive due diligence reports and also our extensive grading reports. Now, also, let's talk about the exclusive insights that you're going to gain. Behind the scenes access, I'm going to fly and visit each startup that I'm going to invest in. I'm going to visit their headquarters. I'm going to meet the founder, and I'm going to video the entire process. That means that you will see exactly what I see, and you'll understand exactly why I'm choosing to invest in that company. Obviously, you're going to get to be a part of like-minded investors. This community is powerful. It's a network of individuals who share your passions and my passions for this exciting world of startup investing. You're going to get the opportunity to collaborate, share insights, and grow together as we navigate the startup landscape. And we've got an extensive library of educational resources. One of those is being what I call Private Deal Masterclass. This is a 30+ video course that walks you through the entire startup investing process step by step. We cover the terms, all the things you want to know and learn, they're going to be there. Now, whether you're a newbie or you're a seasoned investor, these resources will enhance your knowledge and your skills. And lastly, something I'm so passionate about, it's an ongoing communication and support for you inside of our community. Look, I'm going to update you weekly with communications, and I'm going to share the latest deals that I'm reviewing and the insights that are coming from inside the market in the world of startup investing. I love what's happening inside of Deal Hunter Alliance. It is one of the most special things that I absolutely get to be a part of, and it would be an honor for you to be a part of it. So what's next? Well, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is click that link below, fill out a quick application to see if you're a good fit to join inside the Deal Hunters Alliance community. And if you are, schedule a call with our team to discuss your investment goals and how we might be able to help you achieve those goals. All right. Once you apply, myself or one of our team members, we're going to review your application to determine if you're a good fit or not. And from there, we'll reach out with the next steps. Now, it's very important that you hear what I'm about to say. I want to emphasize something. I'm currently evaluating the next startup that I'm getting ready to share with my Deal Hunters Alliance members. And I got to tell you, our spots are actually limited. Look, we like to maintain quality and exclusivity inside of our community. So we only open the doors a few times a year. But by applying now, you position yourself to participate in upcoming deals and gain immediate access to all of our resources and the current investment materials that we have inside of the Deal Hunters Alliance dashboard. Now imagine with me where you could be, diversifying your portfolio, investing in startups that have the potential to see explosive growth down the line. That is exciting. And I want to encourage you, don't let this opportunity pass you by to come join me inside of Deal Hunters Alliance. It is an honor to have you there. It would be an honor to serve you inside of this amazing community. So I hope you're ready to take the next step in your financial journey. All you have to do is click the link below to apply to become a part of our exclusive community that's changing the face of startup investing. Hey, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this workshop has been informative and also inspiring. Remember, opportunities don't happen. You create them. And I'm encouraging you today to take action and come join me and the thousands of others inside of this amazing community called Deal Hunters Alliance. Now, I'm looking forward to reviewing your application and hopefully welcoming you into our thriving community. With that being said, have a great day and happy investing. Oh, and if you have any lingering questions or you need further clarification on something, feel free to drop your questions in the comments, or you can share them with our team on the call after you've clicked the link to apply. All right, we're here to support you every step of the way. See you at Deal Hunters Alliance.